Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel and I'm Harish and today we are going to talk about my personal top 15 weapons of 2020-23. So let's get started. Lesion. I know. I started this YouTube channel and as well as I started gaming Warframe again after a long time. I started this September and the very first weapon I had was not the first weapon, I would say a decent weapon was melee weapon was Lesion. So it was quite good for clearing this star chart which was not completed by me. I didn't even had steel path unlocked, so this was the weapon build, and this was the weapon which I used to clear the star chart. So yeah, hope you guys like the build. Now let's jump to the next weapon in the list. Obvious obvious I got it from completing the uh, quest. So I enjoyed using the OVS. This was the first glaive weapon which I used, and I also used it for clearing the star chart. And the build is not the best. It's really a simple, just a starter one. So this is the build I used. I just used for fun, not for the dealing the damage of the. I mostly used primary and secondary weapon, but melee, this was the build anyhow. So yeah, now let's jump to the next weapon on the build. Next weapon on the list, Vasty Loock. Vasty Loock. I had another gun blade. This is not the first gun blade I used. Vasty Loock I use mostly for stripping the enemy armor. You know, as if you are playing a Warframe game quite along, then you might know Vastilok is used for removing the enemy armor. So yeah, this was the only purpose of the Vastilok was to remove the armor, not to deal the damage. So yeah, this is the build, and I use this for maybe Arcanans and many other boss fights. So yeah, this was quite good to remove the armor. So yeah, this was the build. Now let's get to the next weapon in the list, War. So War, I got it from the quest itself, and I love the animation of this weapon as well as it is pretty decent. It is best for star charts, and I used mostly to clear the charts or star charts with this weapon. So this is the build I used, and I love this melee weapon display animation. So yeah, War is a good, decent, and it's a memorable one. I'll never sell this weapon. Yeah, okay, fine. So now let's move to the next weapon on the list, Piranha Prime. Before quitting the game long back ago, I already farmed this weapon, Piranha Prime, secondary weapon, and I use this weapon since I came back to the Warframe game again, and this was the build. And I won't say this is the best build, and but it was good enough to clear the star chart, I believe. And I didn't use so much, but compared to the other weapons in this list, but I would say if I would have built it proper way, it would have dealt a lot of damage. I know it's full potential, but I didn't, you know, mod it accordingly or build it accordingly. So anyways, I'll make a different video for this weapon. So now let's move on to the next weapon in the list, Ignis Rat. This weapon I used it earlier before quitting the game also. So once I started the game again, I used this weapon to clear the star chart again. If you are a new player, I think the weapons which I have told you right now, these weapons are really useful to clear the star charts. So you should definitely try it out. And if you have any other weapon suggestions, just comment down below and I'll check it. So this was the build, Ignis Wrath build, and I really loved the Ignis Wrath because it was really good and it was OP back then. Now it's a decent weapon, but it is really good at the star chart level. So you should definitely have this one. So this is the build, and now let's move on to the next weapon on the list, Taruk. So this weapon we got it after completing the new war quest, and it is a really good bow, and this is the only bow in my list, I guess. So yeah, it is a really great bow, and I love playing with this bow. So yeah, this is the build, and I used it in star chart as well as clearing the star chart of normal, as well as I used it in steel path. It is really good and you should use this. Yeah, now let's move to the next weapon on the list, Kuanukor. So just like the Piranha Prime, I didn't max out the Kuanokor also, but it is a really good weapon, I know, and I know its potential, but I didn't max out, and the percentage is also not good, so I have to farm it, and I'll make a video definitely again. So this was the build I was using. I know it is really basic one. I just used it for a couple of times, but I loved the weapon. It still, with these two mods also, it still deals a pretty decent damage. So yeah, I know what you are going to say about this build, but still, yeah, if you have a best weapon build of this weapon, Kuanukor, then suggest me in the comment below. Yeah. So before moving to the next weapons in the list, I would like you to like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and that will keep me motivated. And so now let's move on to the next weapon in the list, Okokor. So, after the Night Wave, there was a special mod, Sentient Surge. This weapon just standed out, man. I mean, the damage output is crazy. You should definitely try this weapon. I just love it. I just love it. This is the build. I use it on mostly in Steel Path. It just clears the room with ease, and I have made an video already, but I didn't had Cascadia flare that time, so now I'll make another video for it again, sure, just to show the damage output. So yeah, this is the build. Hope you enjoyed the build also. So yeah, now let's jump to the next weapon on the list, Tenet Aka Plasma. So, I think this weapon is crazy. You must have known already. Before leaving the game earlier, I had the Tenet Arca Plasmor, not Tenet Arca Plasmor. Sorry, I had the base one, the Arca Plasmor. It was really good back then, but now we have Tenet Arca Plasmor, and it is really good, and it is three times better than the Arca Plasma. So yeah, this is the build I am using, and luckily I have Arc Riven mod, which I got it. So this is the build. You can use this build, or you in the place of Riven you can use any other mod. I'll just make another video for it for sure. So yeah, this is the build I'm using, and now just move on to the next weapon on the list, Torrid. So, Torrid is also a good weapon. At first I thought it won't be a great weapon, but when I maxed it out, invested Forma, and made the build, and I just love this weapon. I use it in Steel Path and Archon Hunts everywhere most of the time. This is a really good weapon. I don't have a Riven, but if you have a Riven, then you should definitely try it with the turret, and it will be a great weapon for you. So yeah, this is the weapon build, and if you have a better weapon build, then just comment down below, and I'll make another video for it. So now let's go to the next weapon on the list, hate. So hate is dropped by our very loved guy Stalker. So I have incarnate weapon of it. So this is the build, and I loved a hate weapon. I don't know why, but I still love it. The incarnate form has a projectile also, and it is really good. I used it in Steel Path. This is the build I used. So if you have a best or some other better build of the hate, then just comment down below. I'll make another video. So I already have made video of hate. So if you want to check that, then just uh, check the description, and I'll leave a link for it. So anyways, let's move on to the next weapon on the list, Felux. So I think I don't even have to introduce you this weapon. This is the one of the craziest damage dealing weapon in the Warframe right now, and even I enjoyed a lot. That's the reason I have it in the third of my list. And why is it not on the top of my list? Just because of the reload, as well as the limited ammo in the magazine. So that's the reason. Otherwise it would have been in the top. But I really love the damage output. I use it for mostly arcanans and boss fights or some other high level enemies to clear out. So yeah, it is good, and the incarnate mode is also really good, but mostly I prefer the normal Felag's damage itself. So this is the build. Hope you like the build. If you have better suggestion for the build, just leave it in the comment below. So now next on the list is Leion. I think you might have guessed it already, and even just like Fellax, this weapon doesn't need a introduction. So this weapon is also a really good. This is the I have used it mostly for arcanines and all, and this is the weapon build. Hope you guys like the build, and I have luckily a Riven mod, which is decent one, not the best, but yeah, this is the build. If you have a better build, just comment down the below. And I have already made videos of Latem as well as Felix, so check that also, or else I'll make another video too. So yeah, let's just move on to the next weapon on the list, and the final weapon, Burst and Prime. So I know most of you won't agree with this, but I don't know. It just makes me feel confident whenever I am with this weapon. The incarnate level of the incarnate mode of this weapon is crazy. It has, I think, 400 ammo, and it deals a crazy damage, and it also has a uh, heat damage on the incarnate mode, and I have modded it for corrosive to just strip the enemy armor also. So that's a really good, you should definitely try Burst and Prime. It has great crit chance, decent status chance. So overall I love this weapon. I used it most of the time, and I feel more confident with this weapon. So yeah, this is the weapon in my top of, I mean, so this weapon is on the top of my list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know you have a difference of opinion. So let me, so just comment down below and share your top 15 or top 10 weapons of the 2023. And I'll make another video. Yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Until then, see you. Bye bye. Peace out.